Genesis isn't just about beginnings. It's full of people, patterns, and themes that speak directly into modern life. So, this is going to be episode one, Genesis, Why Your Beginning Matters. Everything starts somewhere, even creation. So, welcome to What If the Bible is One Story? That's interesting right there. I'm Christina, and today we begin at the beginning. Genesis isn't just the start of scripture, it's the start of identity, purpose, calling, and redemption. It's the story behind every story, including yours. So go with me on this journey. I'll be going from Genesis to Revelation, pointing out some things that stand out for me. And so with main characters, that's probably we heard them all our lives, and even with some that resonate with me. So let's continue. Genesis opens with a world that is formless, empty, dark, and God speaks, "Let there be light." This is the first theme of Genesis. God begins in places that look impossible. Your beginning may feel small, messy, or uncertain, but Genesis teaches us beginnings are sacred because God meets us there. And when you're going through the Bible, I'm mostly speaking to beginners, but this is for seasoned individuals too, because hey, we need encouragement at times. And sometimes it takes a different way of looking at things, a different perspective to maybe, tie a new knot in this rope, believing and trusting in God and having faith in God. Let's do it. Let's try something else. Let's try this again. God doesn't rush creation. He forms it in steps, day by day. This is the second thing. God works through process. Modern life tells you to hurry. Genesis tells you to trust the pace of God. God did certain things on certain days. That whole story, I remember God prompted me to just start reading the Bible from the beginning. This was years ago. And I found a new love. I would say I found a love for the Bible that I had never experienced starting at Genesis because I was reading it from from a different viewpoint, a different perspective. And God just began to show me things and open up my understanding about God, Jesus, heavenly things, and even demonic things. So let's continue on this journey. I can go on forever. Adam and Eve introduce two major things. Again, this is my opinion. Identity. You are made in the image of God. Before you do anything, your worth is not earned, it's given. So again, you are made in the image of God before you do anything. So it doesn't even matter. Before you were formed in your mother's womb, you already had a plan. God had a purpose for your life. So your worth is not earned, it's given. It was given a long time ago, before you were born. So even though the trials of the world, they come up against us, and sometimes we aren't as successful as we would like to be, but we could still know, take comfort in the fact that God knows that yes, we are human, but He also knows that we can get up. Because again, your our worth was not earned, it's given. The second thing, choice. Genesis shows us that choices shape stories. Adam and Eve's decision didn't just affect them, it affected generations. So we have to be very careful. When they were in the garden, God gave man instructions, direction. So it was being followed up to a certain point. And then I know I have an apple on the tree. We don't know the type of fruit that Eve partook of, but that's just a symbolization of fruit. It symbolizes fruit. So, what is our modern connection? Again, your choices matter, your obedience matters, your healing matters. Your yes to God can shift your entire family line. Your no to God can also shift your entire family line. Noah's story is about courage when culture collapses. So, this is another major, I would say, a main character in Genesis. The theme for me with this is stand firm when the world stands against you. And I know I did a couple of shorts about this, so feel free to go back and watch those in the Genesis series. And I have them in the playlist. Noah wasn't perfect, but he was faithful. He listened when others mocked. He built when others doubted. He trusted when others ignored. Sometimes obedience looks strange. Sometimes faith looks foolish. But Genesis shows us that obedience protects you and positions you for purpose. It was something I was listening to by, what's his name, Dr. Charles Stanley. He said, you do what God tell you to do and let God take care of the consequences. So if I'm following what God has instructed me to do, then God will take care of the consequences. That stood out to me by Dr. Charles Stanley. And I just started listening to him, I believe about a year ago. Abraham, another main character in Genesis. Abraham introduces three powerful themes. One, calling. God calls Abraham to leave what's familiar. Many of us are afraid to leave comfort, but calling often begins with movement. Second theme, promise. God gives Abraham a promise that seems impossible. Modern life is full of delayed dreams. Genesis teaches us that delay is not denial. Third thing, faith. Abraham believes God even when he doesn't see the outcome. Faith is not certainty. Faith is trust in the one who is certain. And that story of Abraham, all the stories in Genesis are, again, once you read them from a different perspective, and it's not just, hey, it's the Bible. Some people think the Bible is boring, but once you get that different perspective, you will be able to read the Bible in a different way, differently. So this is one of the characters that stands out for me. It's Joseph, and this is someone who I resonate with. Remember years ago, I listened to someone, I believe it was Dr. Cindy Trim or someone else. They said, just when you're reading the Bible, you're reading these different stories with these main characters, see who you resonate with and why you resonate with that person, and just bring that up to God and explore that. Joseph's life is one of the clearest pictures of modern struggle. Family dysfunction, betrayal, false accusations, waiting, disappointment, unexpected promotion. Joseph introduces the theme God uses pain to position you. What others meant for harm, God used for good. Joseph's story teaches us that your suffering is not wasted. Your story is not over. Your purpose is bigger than your pain. Ooh, I can go on. So here's what Genesis teaches us today. Again, your beginning matters. God sometimes starts in small places. Your identity is secure. You are made in his image. Your choices shape your story. Adam and Eve, of course, showed us the power of obedience and then the power of disobedience. Your faith matters. Noah and Abraham shows us that trust leads to transformation. Your pain has purpose. Joseph shows us that God redeems every chapter. God still brings order out of chaos. We got to believe that. Your life is not too messy for God to move. Genesis ends with a family, a chosen family, carrying a promise. But that family is about to become a people, and that people is about to become a nation. Woo. Genesis gives us the beginning. Exodus shows us what God does with that beginning. Again, in Genesis, God forms a family. In Exodus, he forms Israel. The story continues from promise to deliverance, from identity to purpose, from a family to a nation called to reflect God to the world. Join me in the next episode as we watch God turn a promise into a people, and that's Exodus. Start boldly. Your beginning matters. Again, will reiterate Genesis teaches us this: beginnings are sacred because God is in them. And if this message spoke to you, stay with me. We're walking through the entire Bible, one truth at a time, one character at a time, one story that leads to Jesus. See you on the next episode.